My name is Molly Carmel, and this is the podcast that I always wish existed. A bite sized, on the ground spiritual note that can shift your thinking and your outlook on life. Because sometimes that's all it takes, a small shift in what we choose to believe to make us a little bit more awake, alive, and ascending. So, today I want to talk about what happens when heartbreak meets service and when helping someone else can end up helping you too. And so, if episode 22 was about grief cracking my heart open, this one is about what came through after that opening, which is some connection, some purpose, and that really beautiful reminder that I always need, which is that, we never heal alone. So, 4 days after my breakup, and right in the thick of like the tsunami that is unpredictable waves of grief, I really found myself not doing well, folks. Like, I was not doing well. And I have given up so many things. So, like, I don't binge eat, and I don't smoke cigarettes, and I don't drink. And so I found myself on my couch with my phone in my hand, scrolling for my life. And like, you know what kind of scrolling I'm talking about, right? Like the one that I'm like deep diving into like these strangers to try to figure out something. And then I'm like finding a new dog chew and then like a pair of socks that are going to like change all of my circulate. Like it was messy. It was really messy. I was in like 7 different rabbit holes. Like I was just like in a life of rabbit holes. And in many ways, Instagram had become an anesthetic to me. My brain was overloaded and I just wanted relief. And let me tell you something, that algorithm, like it understood the assignment. And I was impulse buying anything that promised help me feel better or change my life. So we're talking like, you know, cleaners for my sneakers and special candles and a tarot reading journal. Like there are a lot of packages coming to my house right now, is what I'm saying. And I'm not proud of it because I would much rather be donating that money to people who really need it. But the fact is, it was textbook avoidance. Uh, and I think it was addiction adjacent because it was a lot of it like without my permission. I was just in a deep hole and very human, very, very human, very human. And so out of nowhere, thank goodness, I heard that my little Jiminy Cricket voice, right? I heard that little quiet voice, not that loud, judgy inner critic, but just like this inner nudge that was like, "Hey Molly, get off the couch. Hey Molly, put down the phone. You know what to do. You know what to do." And what it told me to do is what I do know what to do. And it said, "Go be of service." And so my friend Leah was having this like dinner that a bunch of us were just going to like meet for a dinner that Saturday night. And I kind of like hijacked the party. I called Leah and I was like, "Hey, instead of meeting for a dinner, can we all come to my house and I'm going to host a sound healing? I'm going to host a sound healing for all of us. Free, whatever. We can make it a potluck. Nothing fancy, just like 7 or 8 of my girlfriends at my house on a Saturday night." And I made some of my famous herbal iced tea and set up my bowls and made like this delicious Epsom salts for everybody. And we were really also celebrating that our friend Leah had just gotten this big new job that was going to take her away for a while. And we could just, it was just like a lot of wonderful threshold change energy in the air that I too was in, but sort of on the shadow side of it, right? And so I decided to do a healing that was for new beginnings, right? And I always forget this until I'm in it. When you give a healing, you get one too. And so as my bowls began to sing, something in me really started to loosen. First of all, I wasn't focused on my heartbreak anymore, which was such a treat. I wasn't focused on my Instagram algorithm, which was also such a treat. I wasn't focused on this endless loop of what if. I was just focused on sound and energy and these women who were in my healing studio trusting me with this work. And in a way, while I was in that hour, it's like the grief exhaled. And I was able to focus on such different things. Like I was able to focus on the beauty of the night, the way that everyone softened and laughter found its way back in, and that we were all just so present with each other. And that presence just felt like such medicine. And so, by serving others, I really was able to reconnect to a part of myself that I couldn't find while I was in this grief. And so I turned to this pocket sage that I love, and it's called the AA Daily Reflections. It's one of the daily readers from the Alcoholics Anonymous 12-Step Fellowship. It's a very, very good one. Um, and it gives a short reading every single day from the reading of that fellowship. And service is a real foundational part of the 12 steps, and it's something that's completely changed my life. And the June 7th entry in that book says, helping others is the foundation stone of recovery. A kindly act once in a while is not enough. We have to act the Good Samaritan every day if need be. It's through giving of ourselves that we find freedom from self-centered fear. Let me read that again for those of you in the back. Helping others is the foundation stone of recovery. A kindly act once in a while is not enough. We have to act the Good Samaritan every day if need be. It is through giving of ourselves that we find freedom from self-centered fear. That phrase, freedom from self-centered fear, yes, 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 because that is exactly what happens when I get out of my own way and give in this altruistic way without desiring to receive. That's what I call altruism. And heartbreak can make our world so small. And I'm not necessarily talking about romantic heartbreak of not getting a job, just like heartbreak and things not going your way. It can just make the world so very, very small. Everything starts revolving around me, my pain, my story, my loss. And listen, part of that's completely normal, completely okay. That's part of healing. But if we stay there too long, it just ends up being an echo, right? And service, giving to others freely, breaks the echo. It doesn't erase the pain, but it does give us some kind of purpose. When we reach out, we remember that we're part of something bigger. We stop asking, why me? And we just change the script completely to like, how can I help? How can I help? And that night reminded me that while, love doesn't disappear when a relationship ends, it changes direction. And that's what service is, love in motion. It really, really is. And every time that we let love move, it carries a little bit of our pain with it. And it transforms it into something useful. And in my experience, something very, very holy. So our word of the day today, generosity. Generosity isn't about money or grand gestures. It's the willingness to let love move through you freely. It's making dinner for a friend when your own heart hurts. It's picking up the phone when someone else is struggling. It's showing up, and it's showing up imperfectly, right? It's showing up just to be present for another human. And if you're doing it right, the generosity does not deplete us. It refills us. Because when we give, we remember that there's still something whole inside of us, something that's untouched by loss. And it reminds us that we can still love even when we're healing. And honestly, that might be the most beautiful miracle of the whole thing. So the question for today, Where can you practice a small act of generosity today? One that pulls you out of your head and into your heart. And how might giving remind you that you are already whole? All right, my ascenders, thank you so much for climbing with me today. And remember, our word is generosity, not as an obligation, but as an invitation to let love move through you, especially when you think you have nothing left to give. And listen, if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need the reminder, It's good. The more the merrier, I say on Daily Ascent. And so until next time, know that I am here rooting you on through the chaos and through the still, reminding you when you give, you actually grow.